So today's feature is about how to create holiday campaigns for your emails. So the first thing that I'm going to do is share my screen and show you a few little things first. So if you are looking in your account, one thing to be aware of is that your email provider might have limitations on how many emails you can send per message. So it's not just per day, it also can be per message. So if you're on like a typical Google account, for example, like a personal Google, I think it might be 50 messages or 50 emails per message that you're allowed. So even though you're allowed like 500 emails a day, it's still limited on that per message. So what we recommend is that you actually use something like sendgrid.com to send your emails out. That way you can still keep your same email address to utilize, but you're going to use the SendGrid API. And so that way it gets delivered in a mass email function. So it's a separate service. It's called SendGrid. Let me sendgrid.com. This is what we use. It's not our solution, but it is a solution that we use. So you can look for the pricing over here. Check it out. It's probably worth it, especially if you're going to be doing holiday campaigns. So once you decide which email provider you're going to use for your SMTP, the first thing you as an account owner would do is go to settings, and then you would go to email, columns, calendar, and other, edit, scroll all the way down, activate your SMTP. And then I've got this one set up already, so I'll remove the access so you can see how the setup would go. If you're setting up a Gmail account one or in Office 365, you would simply hit these buttons and then follow the instructions. But if you do end up using SendGrid, you would put in like the host name here. So I can't remember what it is, but let's just say it's smtp.sendgrid.net, something like that. Whatever your SendGrid username is, whatever your SendGrid authentication password is, encryption type would be SSL, authentication type would be login, and then the port is usually 587. You can find your SMTP details on your provider's page about their SMTP setup. But in this case, it would be the host would be probably smtp.sendgrid.net. Don't quote me on that. It would be your SendGrid username, your SendGrid user password, SSL TLS login 587. Again, you can always just Google simply by going google.com or you could also just put in SendGrid, SMTP, or whatever your provider is, and then you will look at their setup instructions for that. Okay, back to the Radius stuff. Once you've set up your account level, your users will have to go into account my information and email to set up their SMTP. So they can set theirs up here. You as the account owner are only going to do it in the settings section, and then your users will do it in the account my information email section. All right. Next up, we have how to create those email templates. So let's go into templates. On the left-hand side column, I went to templates. And I do have like a holiday template in here. I don't think it's that great, to be honest. I don't think it really helps you that too much, but you know, at the very least, it's got some information there. My advice is I would delete that template. So I'd look for holiday, I would delete it. What I do instead is I would look for one of my basic signatures or blank signatures. If you sell Medicare, use the CMS disclaimer one and hit copy. So now I'm going to change this template name to, let's say, Thanksgiving email. Happy Thanksgiving from all of us at whatever your company's name is. Here I have an agent profile image. If you want the profile, if you want to use your profile picture that you have in your account My Information section, that can display at the top, or we can delete that and change it to, let's say we're going to put in an image of some sort. You can actually search for free images, or you can also search for, let me just look here. I'm going to make this a little smaller in the settings so it's easier for me to navigate around. So here I can search for stickers or GIFs. So if I wanted to add in a sticker for Happy Thanksgiving, I would drag that content over here. And you'll notice that there's this thing that says drag it here in blue. That's important. So that's how you actually drop the content, is when it says drag it here or drag it here. So it's trying to place that content element. Search for the stickers. And then I'm going to say Thanksgiving. And maybe we just want this one. Oh my God, that squirrel is too cute. I'm going to choose that one. Now on the right-hand side, this is pretty big. So I'm going to not make it an auto width. I'm going to deselect that. I'm going to make it a little smaller. I could do full width on mobile, just so that way it's nice and clean. You can always look and see how it looks on mobile over here. So see, there's like a desktop icon and a mobile icon. So if I go mobile, that looks pretty good. Okay, so now I'm going to edit this. So maybe I also want to do another content element of Happy Thanksgiving, and maybe that's another thing where it is. Let me see here. Maybe I do it as a paragraph. And I make it bold. Oh wait, no, I don't want paragraph because that's just. Sorry, my scroll bars are not working as well as I would like them to. There we go. So maybe I'm going to do another sticker up there for like Happy Thanksgiving. And again, I'm going to make the content not auto width. I'm going to do this and full width on mobile. I'm going to delete these spaces. So I click into the content element and I delete, click and delete. There's a little trash can. So the editing is a little bit wonky sometimes, but once you get used to it, it's pretty easy. So then you would just say something like Happy Thanksgiving, first name, wishing you and your family a wonderful holiday season. All right, something basic. You'll want to make sure that your logo is there and not ours. So you would just click on to that logo. You would hit change image over here on the right-hand side on this content. Change. And then you can add your logo. But you'll notice it's only read-only right now. It's because I have not selected a file. That's one of the tricky things in this template editor. You have to hit files and then you can upload your logo. So I'll insert this one. You can upload and you can also search for free photos. And then once you've uploaded it, you hit insert. It's there. Delete that. I don't know why that's like that. You'll want to change to your website address. You'll want to add in your information. Make sure that you add in your company's name. So best insurance ever. And then your company's physical address, city, state, zip. 1 North Maple Drive. The reason why you're putting in your physical address is for Spam Can compliance. So the Spam Can Act, it's basically that you need, it just says that you need to have a physical address there. And then we have that CMS disclaimer that you can utilize if you sell Medicare. So that's what we did. So we saved the template. I advise you testing this first. So you would go to Thanksgiving, email, and then hit send sample. So that way you can send the sample to yourself and make sure that it looks good. Because if it doesn't, you can go back and edit it and then just fix whatever looked bad. So maybe it was that I went over to the settings and I made the content area width too small. So I'm going to make it bigger again. And maybe I want it to be centered. whatever it is. Play around with it, send a sample, and then when you're happy, you can send that mass email. So now the last step of this is we go to this email. So on the left-hand side column, you'll see email. We are going to add in the record types. You'll notice that it says an SMTP is required. Remember earlier I had removed that access so I could show you how to add in the manual access. So I can't actually send anything right now because I don't have my SMTP set up. So I'm going to send this to leads and maybe to clients. You'll notice I've got a lot of other custom record types. If you're on the AMS plan, you have access to that. If not, you do not. So I'll choose leads and clients for this case. Maybe if I have custom record types, I also am going to do employees, whomever. And I'm just going to send to everybody because it's a mass email. I'm going to deliver it on Thanksgiving Day at 3 p.m. when everybody's just sitting in front of the game. And I'm going to select Thanksgiving email as the template, and I can hit schedule. You'll see that it says 8 leads, 2 employees, and 24 clients are going to get this message based off of the criteria above here. So because I've got the record types of leads, employees, clients, those are the people that are going to get it. So if you do have a restriction on how many emails you can send per message, this is a nice way for you to see that tally in advance, right? Then I hit schedule email. It's not going to let me, I don't think, because I don't have an SMTP. Yeah, so it won't let me. But the nice thing with it is that when you actually send that message, if you've scheduled it as, let me show you, if you used this little option for deliver later on a specific date, you'll be able to schedule it, and then you can always delete it if you need to. If you hit deliver immediately, it's going to start sending out those emails immediately. It will have a slight time delay because it's going to add on the required unsubscribe feature. But nonetheless, you're not able to stop that delivery if you choose the deliver immediately option. If you use deliver later, you will have the option to stop or cancel that delivery. Any questions on this?
Nope.
No? Okay. So just a brief recap. The first most important thing is you set up your SMTP in settings, email, columns, calendar, and other. Edit, scroll all the way to the bottom, activate, and set up your SMTP. If you have additional agents, they will go into account, my information, email, and set up their their email SMTP. Next thing you do is you go to templates. You're probably going to copy your basic signature with CMS disclaimer, hit the word copy, edit the email template. Lastly, you go to email, you go to the record types, you decide your criteria for sending that email, you set the delivery time, and then you choose the template, and then you hit schedule. So that's how you do it. Okay.